NFL rumors start with Aaron Rodgers. Now, this is the Denver Broncos Green Bay Packers spin on it in the end, because Von Miller, who earlier was like, oh, I love Drew Lock, I love Teddy Bridgewater, and also offered some praise there, isn't really being all that shy about his desire to potentially add Aaron Rodgers, saying, hey, we got the right front office guys to pull off a trade, if one's possible, because right now, that's not clear. The Packers have been telling teams they will not trade Aaron Rodgers. And it's unclear as well if Rodgers will report to training camp. The drama is real between the player and the franchise. And even if he plays for Green Bay this year, I don't know if he's going to be there for the very start of camp. We'll find out that in a couple of weeks. But first, Von Miller's quote. Quote, John Elway, he's done a great job of working the big-time guys before. Peyton and DeMarcus and Aqib, all these other guys. So if there's a guy to be had, GP, meaning George Payton, the GM, and John Elway are the two to put on it, if it can be done. If it can't, I am comfortable with Drew Lock and Teddy Bridgewater. They've impressed the hell out of me and impressed out of everybody during OTAs. So I'm super excited for those guys. Another year for Drew Lock. I think this will be the time for him to turn it on. So either way we go, it's looking bright for us. Like, I appreciate Von Miller trying to play both sides so he comes out on top no matter what when it comes to the quarterback situation. But one of these three guys is clearly better. That's Aaron Rodgers. It does not mean, however, that he will end up being the team's starting quarterback. So who starts for Denver? Get your votes in for me. Is it Drew Lock? Type in, this is about week 1, by the way. TB for Teddy Bridgewater or AR for Aaron Rodgers. Get your votes in right now. Now, based on the odds, Green Bay is still the heavy favorite to have Rodgers in week 1. Denver's second, then the Raiders, Dolphins, Saints / Washington football team. I still think that for week 1, it's probably Green Bay, but long term, this relationship clearly is not going to be sustained. These two sides, whether it is, this offseason or next year, are heading towards a divorce. There's no amount of marriage counseling that can fix it. They're just differences that cannot be met halfway, which is wild given how freaking good Aaron Rodgers was. He just won MVP. Now you might not have him if you're the Packers. You done messed up somewhere along the way. Now, if you're Denver, if you add Aaron Rodgers, maybe you're not as good as the Chiefs, but you're not that far behind them. Your defense is awesome, by the way. It should be awesome. You've got some young skill talent there. If Denver gets Aaron Rodgers, they are a top 5 team in the NFL. Without Aaron Rodgers, there's a lot of uncertainty about the quarterback situation, right? There's Drew Lock, and he's shown moments of flashes and great play or whatever, but he's just not necessarily an elite quarterback, at least not yet, and has been very inconsistent. Teddy Bridgewater's probably a higher floor, but also probably a lower ceiling at this point. Neither of those guys really strikes fear into you if you're an opposing NFL team. There's some, are we good enough? Are we not good enough? It's not really clear at that point. So whether it's Locke or Bridgewater, Denver's harboring playoff hopes. If they find a way to get Aaron Rodgers, all of a sudden their goals and expectations are just a little bit higher. Now, whoever you're a fan of, whatever NFL team you guys love, we have a YouTube channel for you. We're posting, by the way, on 26 of the 32. Here's how to go subscribe. Go to chatsports.com/teammascottTV. Now, that might be a bit confusing. If you're a Browns fan, it's chatsports.com/BrownsTV. chatsports.com/BroncosTV. Insert mascot after the slash and before TV. It'll take you right to that team's YouTube channel. So whatever NFL team you guys love, we have a YouTube channel. And we're posting on 26 of the 32. And if you're part of the 6 that's not a part of it, we're going to have some videos coming in the very near future. Just be patient with us on that one. So again, chatsports.com, insert your team name, TV, it'll take you right there. So go subscribe for your favorite NFL team and to get more coverage. Let's talk ESPN's top 10 quarterback list here and where Kyler Murray ranked on that list. Kyler checked in at number 10 on I'm going to call it not terrible, but there were some interesting name orderings on that list. Now, ESPN polled over 50 coaches, players, execs, scouts, etc. for these quarterback rankings. And there's clearly a bit of a teardrop right around Kyler. Nobody ranked him above number 8. That was the highest Kyler Murray checked in. He was actually as low as unranked, and they only ranked the top 10, and some did 15. That was it. So before we spend some more time on Kyler, here are ESPN's top 10 quarterbacks based on the NFL experts analysis or input. Mahomes was number 1, and not everybody had Mahomes number 1. Does not make sense. Those people are wrong. Remember, folks, just because you work in the NFL doesn't mean you're always right. Rodgers was 2, Brady was 3, Russell Wilson is 4, and there was a teardrop after that based on the actual votes and numbers and all of that. Josh Allen's number 5, a big-time rise, given he's only had one successful year so far in the NFL. The biggest surprise comes in the NFC West as well. Matthew Stafford skyrocketed up this list to the point that, frankly, it doesn't really make any sense because Matthew Stafford's on-field play was better in 2019 than 2020, and he goes from number 10 all the way to 6. Much like how Zach Taylor got hired for being a friend of Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford, now a top 7 quarterback because of Sean McVay. Dak Prescott was number 7, up 2 spots. Lamar Jackson drops 2 to number 8. Herbert is number 9. And then Kyler Murray won a tiebreaker, get to who he tied with here in a little bit, at number 10. Quick note, Deshaun Watson not included because, well, we don't know if he's going to get to play this year. Now, there were some interesting quotes that came out of this as well from one AFC scout on Kyler Murray. Quote, "He's very talented. Some of the issues are outside of him. I don't think the Cardinals' style of play is conducive to winning big games late in the season. Even though the NFL was more open with passing, really good teams to win emphasis on defense and running the ball. They're the complete opposite." Yes, the Chiefs, noted elite defense and running the ball team. Anyway, I'm not really concerned about that. I think the win-loss stuff is fair. Murray was better in 2020. I think the top 10 ranking at minimum is at least a little bit of a projection. And that's okay. This is for 2021. Projection is fine. In theory, he should be better this year. Is he a top 10 quarterback right now? I do value the rushing side of it. I think that matters. I don't care how you score. 11 rushing touchdowns and 26 passing touchdowns, cool. He had 37 touchdowns. Now, fantasy people care more about the rushing side. I don't. I think Murray is in that conversation right around being a top 10 quarterback. Now, the other quarterbacks, the top 5 receiving votes were actually in this order. Matt Ryan is who Murray tied with. So when there was a tie, ESPN went back and said, pick one. And Murray won that tiebreaker. At the end of this year, I would bet Murray's over Ryan. Right now, I think I might lead Ryan, but his projection, so I'm fine with it. Derek Carr was up there, Ben Roethlisberger, Ryan Tannehill, Joe Burrow over Baker Mayfield was intriguing. A bit early as far as I'm concerned for Joe Burrow, but we're focused on Murray right now. So what do you think? Where does Kyler Murray rank among NFL quarterbacks? Is he 5? Is he 3, as we saw in the live chat? Is 10 the right spot for him? Get your votes in for me right now in the comments section. Let's discuss Jamal Adams and his still pending contract extension. The updates might not be great for Seattle. Jeremy Fowler of ESPN says contract talks right now are slow going, which is a fancy term for not great if you are Seattle. And Fowler even says this deal might not get done before camp or even early in training camp. It would appear that Adams is using his significant leverage in talks between Seattle and his representatives. Here's what Fowler said on ESPN on Sunday. Quote, "It's complicated because Jamal Adams has some leverage. He knows the team gave up 2 first-round picks to get him, and he's trying to reset the safety market in a big way. I'm not saying he's holding out, but this is a player who got his way out of New York over his contract. The Seahawks at least know they are dealing with a hard bargainer, someone who's willing to bet on himself. Now, becoming the highest paid safety, I believe, is an assumed reality for Justin Simmons, or for Jamal Adams. He will get more than Justin Simmons' $15.25 million. He'll get more than Budda Baker, Eddie Jackson, whatever. And that's fine if you're Seattle, because Derwin James, Minkah Fitzpatrick, Derwin if he's healthy, Jesse Bates, Harrison Smith, even Tyrann Mathieu himself, all among the players due for massive record-setting contracts, at least close to it as far as I'm concerned. So if you can get Jamal Adams for $15.5 million, you do it right now. I think Adams wants more. The mention of resetting the market is intriguing because the safety market right now lags behind all other positions on defense. Joey Bosa blew it up at edge, $27 million, more than Myles Garrett's $25. Aaron Donald's $22.5. Jalen Ramsey's $20, and Bobby Wagner's $18. Now, there's not a chance in hell I think anybody gives Adams even Aaron Donald money. That's too much. Could he get to 20? Probably not. But that Bobby Wagner figure, $18 million, almost $3 million more than any other safety, that would be resetting the market significantly. I wonder if that's what Adams is really searching for on this new deal, which could be a problem for Seattle. Now, Adams in 12 games last year, even though people call him Blitz Boy, that's not really a negative in contract talks because he had 9.5 sacks as a safety in 12 games. That's really good. So because of that, I think that the blitzing side actually gives Adams some reason to say, hey, I want more than just the highest paid safety because I'm more than a safety. That's his argument there. Now, the flip side of course, is that his coverage ability has been not great, and that's okay. There are a lot of worse safeties and even linebackers, if we want to go that route, who are worse in coverage than Jamal Adams. And he played through a ton of injuries last year, but he's in shape right now. If you've seen his Instagram posts, he's always always posting his workout videos. The coverage is not great, but the run support, the pass rush, everything else, the way that teams have to scheme almost around him at points is impactful, and that matters. So I think that's why Adams is asking for so much. I think he's asking for so much. So let's say the over-under is $17 million per year. A little bit more than the safety market, but less than Bobby Wagner. Would you pay Adams more than that figure? Type in D for deal. You'll do it. You'll give him more than 17. You'll give him 17, 18, whatever it is. Type ND for no deal. You're not going that high. Get your votes in right now. Let's go now to Marcus Maye, the Jets safety who is in line to become potentially one of the highest paid safeties on a multi-year deal. Maye right now is currently on the franchise tag with New York. The deadline, though, for an extension is just around the corner, July 15th. And it does not appear that either side is really all that close to getting a deal done. And there were some comments made by Maye's agent, and it makes me wonder if the franchise tag, barring a surprise late push here, which I think they'll talk at minimum, is going to end up happening. Now, Maye in 2020, with Adams out and Maye no longer in his shadow, I thought Maye played awesome. Did a little bit of everything for you. 88 tackles, a lot for a safety, which is okay. 4 tackles for loss, pretty good for a free safety, mind you. 2 sacks and 2 forced fumbles. It's not Jamal Adams, but he's better in coverage. As a more rangy free safety, very good completion percentage rates, under 59%, solid for a safety. 285 yards, 3 scores, 3 touchdowns might seem like a lot. It's not, though, for a safety, given how often they get dinged on these for, hey, you were the last man back, but your corner actually kind of messed up, so it's his fault, but we're going to blame you, whatever. Better than Marcus Williams, also on the franchise tag, mind you. 2 interceptions, 11 pass breakups. He has consistently been a game changer on defense as it relates to interception, at least one every year of his NFL career. So if I'm the Jets, I'm paying Marcus Maye because I got other safeties due for big deals not far from now. Jamal Adams, Minkah Fitzpatrick, Jesse Bates, maybe Derwin James, veterans like Harrison Smith, Marcus Williams also on the tag, right? I would extend Marcus Maye because if I'm the Jets, I don't have that much talent on defense, really overall, at least not yet. So why let them walk? But let me know what you guys think. Why for yes and for no? If you lean towards yes, it's almost assuredly due to the cost involved here. I don't know if Marcus Maye is trying to get more than Justin Simmons. If he is, I'll probably not pay him then. That's probably about the mark I would do. I don't want to give Maye $15 million or more per year. That's about my threshold for what he is. But second highest paid safety, I would do it because in a year, he's not top 5 anymore. Because other guys are also going to get paid. Yes, it's more than Budda Baker and Eddie Jackson and Kevin Bird and Tyrann Mathieu or Byard. But remember, Marcus Maye and Marcus Williams, both on the franchise tag right now, are already top 10 highest paid safeties. That's how the franchise tag works. And next year, it becomes an even more expensive cost in terms of getting a deal done with Marcus Williams. At that point, it starts to approach more of the, you're looking at something along the lines of, oh boy, it becomes just under what Justin Simmons and Budda Baker are making on a franchise tag next. And so at that point, it probably starts to make more sense to try and get a long-term deal at that $14 or maybe just under $15 million range if you are the Jets. If I'm them, again, I'm paying Marcus Maye. I don't have enough top-end defensive talent to justify not paying him. And if they do, even though he's approaching 30, safety once again becomes a bit of a question mark for New York.